The Washington Square Arch was built in series with the Arc de Triomphe and the Arch of Titus. This series is conveyed through the similar architecture and the monumental status the structures hold. Although each monument of the series is similar in the form of the structure from afar, when one is observing at eye level, the view of the structures changes significantly. The Washington Square Arch was built in 1892 and designed by the firm of McKim, Mead & White. It is established to commemorate the 100th anniversary of George Washington's inauguration. The original structure was made of wood and not intended to be made permanent. The plans of the monument changed when the public expressed their approval of the monument. The new construction of the large white marble arch stands in the entranceway to Washington Square Park today. With the construction of the new monument, specific relief statues and details were worked into the arch. These relief sculptures changed the view of the monument significantly when observing the structure up close. It was not until 1916 and 1918 the relief sculpture of George Washington was put into place on the Washington Square Arch, changing the view of the overall monument significantly. These two detailed sculptures were added to the northern side of the monument on each side of the arch. The statue of Washington on the left is commemorating his time as a general in the Revolutionary War, and the sculpture on the right is of Washington surrounded by wisdom and justice, signifying his time as a president. These details added to the structure of the original monument give the viewer a more accurate depiction of how and why Washington is being commemorated through the use of the archway. In addition, at the top of the arch, when standing closely, one can view the engraved quote. Here it says, "Let us rise, a standard to which the wise and honest can repair. The event is in the hands of God." These words add to the effect of commemorating Washington because they were spoken by him at his inauguration. Each aspect can be viewed up closely in specific ways, changing the viewer's perspective of the overall monument. These detailed parts of the arch give the observer more evidence to connect to the general commemoration that is expressed through the monument. Erected before the Washington Square Arch are the Arc de Triomphe and the Arch of Titus. These three monuments are in a series and hold the same form of an arch with one passageway. The Arc de Triomphe is located in Paris and started being built in 1806 by Chalgrin, but was not finished until 1836 by Boulay. This monument was built under the commission of Napoleon, who wanted to commemorate and pay tribute to the French army. Within this large monument, there are many smaller detailed pieces that can change the view of the arch when viewed up close. On the side of the Arc de Triomphe closest to the Champs-Élysées, there are two sculptures on either side of the arch. On the left is the triumph of Napoleon, and on the right is the departure of the volunteers of 1792. The triumph of Napoleon shows Napoleon being crowned with a laurel wreath by victory, and the town is surrendering at his feet. On the opposite side of the archway is the departure of the volunteers. This is the most famous relief on the Arc de Triomphe, and shows citizens rallying against enemies from abroad. Some citizens are dressed in classical armor while others are unclothed. The citizens are stirred by the Roman goddess of Bellona, who is personified as liberty. Similar to the Washington Square Arch and the Arc de Triomphe, the Arch of Titus view changes when observed up closely. The Arch of Titus is located in Rome and commemorates the capture of Jerusalem by Titus in 70 AD. The arch was erected by Domitian in 81 CE. Unlike the other two arches in the series, the Arch of Titus does not have sculptures on the outside of the arch, but rather has relief carvings inside of the archway. On one side of the archway is the spoils of Jerusalem. This structure depicts the triumphant procession from the Temple of Jerusalem. Individuals wear laurel crowns, while others carrying the candlesticks have pillars on their shoulders. On the opposite side of the arch, there is a structure of the Triumph of Titus. Here, the scene depicts Titus in a chariot being crowned with a wreath by the winged victory. These different smaller aspects of the monument add to the overall form, but often only change the view for the observer when it is viewed up close at eye level. If an individual was to look at each of the arches from afar, they would all look very similar, but when looked at eye level, one would see the significant differences in the smaller details of the arch.